Part 14. Addition and subtraction of negative numbers. You will find this on page 42 in the Namibian Mathematics Grade 8 textbook, Y equals mx plus c to success. Let's first go through the theory. Fractions and mixed numbers. In previous years, we have learned about proper fractions. Now, can you remember? The numerator is smaller than the denominator. Improper fraction, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Or mixed numbers, where you have a whole part as well as a fraction. These numbers are positive, but they can be extended to include negative fractions. So basically that will just be also fractions with negative signs in front. And negative mixed numbers, again, just a negative sign in front. The rules for performing the four basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with negative fractions and negative mixed numbers are the same as those for positive fractions and positive mixed numbers. Now, let's first look at the two operations, addition and subtraction. Addition, to add or subtract fractions with different denominators. For example, unlike fractions, we must first make the denominators the same by finding the lowest common multiple of the denominators. We use the idea of equivalent fractions, exactly like we did with positive fractions. So let's look at the two examples. Without using a calculator, find the value of each of the following. Now there, due to the fact that you see it's an addition, then you can basically just go on without changing anything. I prefer to take it to improper fractions. So in this case, because of the addition, we can rewrite it by just writing the negative sign. Then make it an improper fraction. So 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4. Then 2 times 3, that will be 6, plus 1, it will be 7 over 3. And now, make the denominators the same. So the lowest common multiple will be 12. So I times 3 times 3 times 4 times 4. And I will find 15 over 12 minus 28 over 12. Now, just focus on the numerators. There is actually standing positive 15 minus 28. Can you remember what did we do if the signs were different? We subtract. So 28, let's just put that, 28 minus 15, that will give me 13. And what was the biggest movement? Was it the negative 28 or was it the positive 15? It was definitely the negative, and that's why the answer will be negative. And I keep my denominator. I can take it to a mixed number, but I can also leave it like this. In Namibian examination, they also take this improper fractions as correct. Now, if I look at this one, do you see the problem? There is a subtraction. And if I see a subtraction, I must change it into an addition by finding the additive inverse. And the additive inverse of negative 3 over 10 will be positive 3 over 10. And now again, I can just rewrite it without all that brackets. So just leave the positive, leave, and just take that signs in front of the numbers. Now, make your denominators the same. That's what I did there. And then basically, I'm ending with negative 12 plus 13 minus 20. Now, I prefer to first add the negative numbers. So, if I say negative 12, I can even write it here. It's negative 12 and negative 20. Look, the signs are the same. So I keep the sign and I add the numbers. So what will that be? 32. And if now you have negative 32 plus 3. If the signs are different, what do? We subtract. And so it's 29. And I look at, was the negative movement the most or the positive? Definitely the negative. And that's why I have a negative there. So it's negative 29 over 10, my denominator. And again, I can make it a mixed number. By saying 10, let's just write here, 10 go into 29 how many times? Full times, 2. And if I subtract 20 from 29, it will be 9 left. Okay, I want you to try the following example. Just do number B. It's a bit more complicated. Stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue with the video. Try now 14. Okay, I prefer to first write down everything. It's always the best, then you don't make mistakes in copying it. Okay, so this is a positive, that's all right, but this is subtraction. I have to change it into an addition by finding the additive inverse. So it's -3 1/3. It's addition, so I can just rewrite that. I'm first going to leave it as mixed numbers. I change it into addition by also changing this sign. And then this sign will be what? It will be +1 1/4. I will now get rid of that bracket. Now, make it improper fractions. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, so it's -10/3. This is 12 plus 5. What will 12 plus 5? It will be 17/6. And then we're going to look at the next one. Now we can leave out the bracket. So it's 1, it's 4 plus 1, so it will be 5/4. Okay, now find my lowest common multiple. That will definitely be 12. I prefer writing this in because otherwise I make unnecessary mistakes. So 3 times 4, if I multiply with 4 at the bottom, multiply 4 on the top. Multiply 2 bottom, 2 on top. Multiply 3, multiply 3. And it just makes sure that I don't make unnecessary mistakes. Let's just put my equals. So it will be -40/12, -34/12, +15/12. And actually, I'm going to put in this step just to show you. Put the 12, so it's actually -40, -34, plus 15. And now you can press it on the calculator, also that part. But I prefer adding my negative numbers first. So I add the numbers, keep the sign. So 40 and 34, that will give me -74 plus 15. Now I subtract. And if I do that, I will get an answer of -59/12. And I can rewrite that. 12 can go in how many full times? 4. Keep your negative. And what will be left? 11/12. And that's my final answer.